the campus of St. Francis, where tonight the boy Lancers will take on the men from Archbishop Mitty. My name is RK. Alongside me is Stephen Davies. Getting set here as we take a look at the teams getting set to face off against each other, and it should be a good matchup tonight, Stephen.
I think anytime the Lancers and the Monarchs get together, it's going to be a good game regardless of the sport. Two teams very familiar with each other. St. Francis, however, the league leaders here in the West Catholic League, so certainly Mitty trailing just 2 wins, 5 losses on the season. They got a lot of work to do if they want to catch up to St. Francis. A perfect 7-0 in league play so far this year.
Definitely, and these are two teams that know each other quite well. They play each other multiple times during the regular season. You can say somewhat of rivals playing in the same league against each other. And as you mentioned, St. Francis is off to a very nice start in league play. Their only loss coming against Mountain View. So St. Francis looking to have another great season, and this is a team and a school that expects excellence from their volleyball teams.
Indeed, 3-time state champions in the mid-90s, 93, 94, and 97. So the Lancers have a strong pedigree in the game of volleyball. As we mentioned, these two teams did meet once already this season back on the 11th of March. That game at Mitty in San Jose, and an easy victory for the Lancers, sweeping the Monarchs aside 3-0.
Tommy Bauman gets things started for the Monarchs. As St. Francis on the attack, there's Larson with the kill attempt. Not quite there for him. Now Mitty into the net, blocked. That was Cooper Diamond with the block at the net, and an early 1-0 lead for St. Francis.
How about Diamond putting that in between 4 players here at the net? Brilliantly timed. No chance for any Mitty players to return that one.
Here comes Aylesworth with the serve. That one is going to be an ace as he sneaks that one in the left-hand corner.
Boy, high arcing top spin on that one. Just clipping the corner of the court over there on the far side. Nicely done.
So Aylesworth will get his second serve with his team up 2-0. Aylesworth, 5'10", junior, playing the setter position tonight. Serves it up, and that looks like a mishit from Tommy Bauman. Give another point to St. Francis.
He was in the right place that time. Aylesworth went with a similar serve. But Aylesworth, that dipping action on the serve, just too much for Bauman on that attempt.
So Aylesworth serving again. And this time hits it wide to the right. Kind of went off his hand a little bit funky there.
I think he knew as soon as he hit the ball there, Ari, that one was sailing out of bounds. And that's a shame because his serving looked impressive. Those couple opportunities he had.
Most definitely. And now Eric Ravin, 6'3" outside hitter. The senior serves it across. St. Francis on the attack. Jimenez trying to hit it cross court, but that one is wide to the left. So the Monarchs get their second point.
He'll find his range, I think, in time. A lot of extra muscle on that one, and well outside the court. Let's see if Mitty can get something going here on the serve.
Yeah, and so Mitty trying to tie the game back up at 3. As here comes Gravin again with the serve, and that one is going to be out. So some early serving woes from both teams, as maybe some early jitters here in game number 1.
Yeah, that's the serve he'd like to have back, I think. Came off the inside part of his palm, well out of bounds.
So here's Jimenez. Serves it across, easily handled by the Monarchs. On the attack now, that's Ian Aguilar trying to get the kill. Larson on the attack. Big kill in the middle for the point.
What a dig by Jimenez to save the point there for the Monarchs. Yeah, did well to get down low and fine set, cross-court winner, no doubt about it.
And we'll be seeing a lot of Matt Larson as this game goes on. He is the kill leader for St. Francis. In the middle, blocked at the net. There was Larson again with the big block, sending away the Monarchs' opportunity and making this a 6-2 ball game.
To add to the headaches for the Monarchs, that front line of Diamond and Larson have had an outstanding start to this game. Monarchs have no answer for those two at the moment.
Both stand at 6'4", so an imposing front line for sure. As that time, over the outreached arms, that was Ian Aguilar with the kill.
Yeah, it came off the hand of Stephen Deneen, the 6'5" junior. Sent that out of bounds near side.
So Eller Juco serving across for Mitty, and there's a kill in the middle again. That front line doing its job. Cooper Diamond with the kill.
Yeah, he's been involved in this game so far tonight, not only defensively, but another great set from Aylesworth there. Easy finish.
Yeah, a nice quick set there. And Diamond got up quickly to get that ball over the net. Caught Mitty a little bit off guard, perhaps. So Diamond, after his kill, serving, and that one is short. Didn't have a chance to make it over the net.
Yeah, well below the tape there, and he'll take a seat. He's replaced by Brian McFadden, libero, into the game for the first time for the Lancers.
So back to serve now is Sato for Mitty. He serves it across, handled by Jimenez. Now in the middle, nice kill. That was Eric Reitmeyer getting into the action here.
Philip Brazelton for the Monarchs read that one well, but it was so sweetly set by Aylesworth. Nice finish. Really had no chance to stop it.
So Aylesworth, a lot of assists here early in game number 1. As here comes Mitty on the attack, cross court, and that's a nice kill there by Bauman.
Good strong finish there by the 6'2" junior. Rising up above Aylesworth and Reitmeyer for the points.
Yeah, Reitmeyer just couldn't get a hold of that one to block it. So now here comes St. Francis, and there's Stephen Deneen getting into the action with his first kill.
Another well-orchestrated point by the Lancers. So organized when they go in front of that 10-foot line. A nice set to Deneen, finished strongly.
So Larson serves it across. He has a harder serve if he wants to go to that later. Didn't want to this time. Aylesworth with the rejection at the net. St. Francis a chance. Jimenez, wow. Cross-court hit with some power on that ball.
Boy, Deneen with a tremendous set. How about the ball coming over the top of the tape, back onto the Lancer side of the court. Powerful finish.
Yeah, just to the left of Philip Brazelton there. Didn't really have a chance as that ball went flying by his head. So Larson, his second serve in a row. Across, a little bit of a miss hit by Mitty, and they're forced to get a long kill attempt from Aguilar. That wasn't there. Here's Larson from the back row and somehow finds a way to drop that one in to the Mitty side.
And the 10-foot line. Another tremendous set from Aylesworth. And in between 3 players, threading the needle for the point. Timeout is called by Coach UN of Archbishop Mitty, and a 6-point lead for the Lancers.
And KMVT Sports would like to thank our all sports presenting sponsor, the Palo Alto Medical Foundation, a part of the Sutter Health Network. Make sure you choose your PAMP doctor today. So 11-5 here early for St. Francis, and they seem to be doing a good job of getting some of their key guys involved here, especially on that front line.
Yeah, they look very strong here. A team obviously that's had a fine season so far, 7-1 overall, 7-0 in the West Catholic League, and yeah, they have been strong from the get-go here. No early jitters in this game. St. Francis have raced out to a 6-point lead here on the timeout.
And you can see by the standings, this is probably a game St. Francis should win, especially on their home court. But again, against a Mitty team that they face a lot over the years, nothing is guaranteed when these two teams face off for sure.
Indeed, and Bellarmine just a game behind, but they were comprehensively defeated by the Lancers back on the 25th of March. 3-0 whitewash for the Lancers on the day.
So there's Bauman with the kill attempt. That one's blocked at the net. St. Francis on the attack. Jimenez, another big kill as that one bounced off Aguilar's hands for the St. Francis point.
I've been really impressed with Aylesworth's set and ability in this game. Look at this go all the way across to the other side of the court. And just too strong. That time it's from Alexander Jimenez. The juniors are really having a great game for the Lancers here early.
So off the Larson serve, there's a kill attempt, and they're going to call that out. So St. Francis, another point. They're up now 13-5.
Baumel had a good look at the court boundary there along the near side, just a little bit too strong.
So Larson serves it across yet again, as there's Baumel. Not quite, and Aylesworth with the dump attempt, but Mitty did a nice job of recovering, and then a miscommunication as Brazelton couldn't hit that ball over on 3.
Gives you an idea of how well the game's working for the Lancers at the moment. Aylesworth almost caught that entire front court of Mitty off guard, and they were not able to recover from a little dump shot that time.
So Larson getting a lot of practice here with his serve. Serves it across again. In the middle, Larson just has to hit that one over on 1. Mitty setting it up again. Balmo's kill attempt, not quite there. Jimenez just sets that ball over, so Mitty another chance. Backs at that time to Aguilar. Nothing doing, long rally here. Jimenez, kind of an awkward kill attempt at that one. Looked like hit the antenna, so Mitty will finally get a point to stop the St. Francis run.
Yeah, the longest rally of this game by far. And uncharacteristically for the Lancers, having a little trouble setting up the point, but you were right, outside the antenna. Mitty back on serve.
So Christian Vu with the serve. He had a nice serve, but that one was handled by the Lancers. Now here come the Monarchs. That ball is over the net and out of bounds to the left. So another mistake from the Monarchs, and now a 15-6 advantage for St. Francis.
I think on those previous two exchanges, that's more free balls than we've seen from the Lancers in this entire game so far. And again, Mitty on serve, unable to capitalize. And now quickly the Lancers back on serve.
So Aiden Olander, the junior outside hitter, now into the game. He's back to serve. Standing at 5'10", 145 pounds. The junior, deep breath, and serves it across. Here comes Mitty. Set up for Gravin, and a nice kill for him on the left side of the court.
Good looking point for Mitty that time. Not seeing some particularly long rallies in this game. Both teams like the chances, just go up and put it away. And that was nicely done by the 6'3" senior. Put Mitty back on serve.
So here comes Cameron Ho. He serves it across, or excuse me, that was Aguilar. And hit out of bounds there by Saito. Point again goes to the Lancers. So Aylesworth now serving. Junior, big time serve towards the back row. That one's dug out though. Saito tried to kill it on two. That wasn't there. And Jimenez now with a kill attempt. That one just found its way inside the left sideline.
Jimenez looking very strong on the opposite side. Really, he's been able to pick and choose his spots. This time it goes along the line. And another strong finish for the kill.
Yeah, Jimenez and Larson, quite a dynamic duo on that front line. So Aylesworth, another big serve, dug out, but hit over on one. So St. Francis, a free ball. But Deneen just has to hit that one over. Nice try by McFadden, but that one can't be helped as Aguilar will get the kill to give the Monarchs a point.
Great job by Christian Vu at the beginning of that point, with dealing with that strong Aylesworth serve. And finish back across, too strong for Brian McFadden.
So Eric Gravin now back to serve. Nice dig out by McFadden. Jimenez to the back row. And the Monarchs get it over. Here comes St. Francis with Deneen, the lefty, towards the back row. Off the basketball hoop, which is here. That works to Mitty's advantage, perhaps. And the kill there for Aguilar to get the point.
Hey, anytime the ball caroms back off the furniture here, in any gymnasium you play in, it's a bonus. And that time came off the arm of one of the Lancer players in the back row. But hey, Mitty will take it. They need more points like that, trailing by 8 here in this first game.
So 17-9, down by 8. Mitty trying to get back into this game number 1. Aylesworth sets it up. Diamond at the net. Couldn't get it to go. He's going to get another chance here, and this time he's going to finish.
That junior connection, Aylesworth and Diamond, is really working well for the Lancers here in game number 1. Nice bump set.
And you can see Diamond gets up very quickly, which is a key component to any middle blocker. Have to be able to jump high, have to be tall to begin with, and Diamond is certainly that, as that lollipop serve goes over for Jimenez. Nice block at the net there to stop Aguilar's kill, and then Diamond swung and missed at that set attempt, and so the Monarchs will get a point.
Yeah, rare miscommunication there between Diamond and Aylesworth.
Serving number 8, Eller Juto.
Yeah, just a little bit too strong off the palms of Aylesworth that time.
So St. Francis, another chance. Larson on the left side, and he's going to get that to go as Gravin couldn't quite dig that ball out.
The strong finishing of St. Francis has just been a real thorn in the side of the Monarchs in this first game. You see it take a deflection off of Brazelton, and the back row player just couldn't get there in time to make the adjustment.
So Kenneth Cervantes is into the game for St. Francis. He's back to serve. The 5'9" junior getting a chance here. And serving it across. Low liner somehow finds its way to the midi side, and a nice block at the net. And that looked like it was Reitmeyer who got a lot of that ball.
Yeah, Deneen was in there as well for St. Francis.
So Cervantes, second serve, his team up 10, 20-10, as he serves it across. Mitty, little miscommunication again, is going to give St. Francis pretty much a free ball. In the middle, Reitmeyer tried to tip that one home, wasn't quite there. Now they're going to give Larson a chance. His tip shot, also not there. And it looks like we're going to have a violation, so the Lancers will pick up a point.
Very few fractions in this first game, but first double hit call by the chair umpire, and another timeout is called, and well, 11-point cushion for the Lancers here.
Yeah, 21-10 here in game number 1, St. Francis on top.
As a busy mom of 3 kids, I find it extremely convenient to access My Health Online. My Health Online's messaging service allows me to keep in close contact with our doctor.
Being able to email the doctor with questions gave us assurance that they do take an interest in the patients. That's why we've been with PAN for more than 10 years and keep adding members, the newest member.
Welcome back to the campus of St. Francis, where the Lancers have a 21-10 lead over the Mitty Monarchs here in game number 1. St. Francis still serving as Kenneth Cervantes getting his 3rd crack at it. 2 nice serves from the junior so far. Looking for his 3rd solid serve in a row. Serves it across, and a nice serve, miscommunication there, as Christian Vu, I think, probably should have gone for that ball. And an ace for Cervantes.
Yeah, Eric Raven and Christian Vu went right between the two of them. And another lands some points.
So we've seen that a couple times now from the Monarchs, a little miscommunication between the players. As Cervantes hits it to Vu, and Vu couldn't handle that one, so gives Cervantes his 2nd ace in a row.
They've had trouble with those low line drive serves from the Lancers early on in this first game. Vu will take a seat.
So he'll get a chance to clear his head a little bit as Cervantes racking up the aces here, now 2 here in game number 1. Looks like a substitution for the Lancers as Noah Stapes comes into the game. Jimenez will take a seat. So we wind down game number 1, 2 more points. St. Francis needs to take this first match. Cervantes. Again, a low liner. This one is handled, though, by Graven. Deneen able to dig that out. Back set to Stapes just into the game, but his kill attempt goes into the net, so the Monarchs pick up a point.
So Monarchs on serve. Stefan Milosavage out on the court. He's the player that replaced Christine Vu.
So Monarchs trying to get some kind of substitution pattern that might work here. As here comes Deneen on the right side. Dug out, hit over on 1 by Juco. Now at the net, just hit over on 1 by Reitmeyer. On the left side, that looked, they're gonna call that out.
Yeah,
that one was
out.
very close, but a good call there by the back ref.
Yeah, I think both of them had a good look at that one.
Back to serve number 12, Stephen Deneen.
So we have a game point now as Deneen will serve. And not quite sure did they overturn? I guess that last one they did rule it was in. As it's now 23-12, so yes, that's indeed what happened. An overrule by the head judge as here comes Larson on the left
there you
side.
go.
Wow, what a block by Aguilar getting up high to send that one back over.
Monarchs fans are wondering where has that been up until this point. That was a very strong defensive effort. Timed this perfectly. Yeah, and a nice putback by Aguilar. Baumel was right there to help as well.
I think Larson was a little bit surprised. He really wound up for that big kill, but it got sent right back into his face pretty much. So here comes Deneen. That ball tipped, and so the Monarchs are able to control. We'll have to hit it over, though. St. Francis, a good chance now as there is Larson, this time getting it to go right at the feet of Saito.
Now serving, Stephen Deneen.
So, again, game point 24-13. Deneen, the lefty, serves it across towards the back row. Deneen digging that ball out off the ceiling. St. Francis, a good job recovering, and there's Larson to put game number 1 away with a nice right-handed kill.
In a game dominated by the juniors for St. Francis, it's the senior, Matthew Larson, that finishes the Monarchs off in that first game. Aylesworth with a nice backward bump serve, or bump set, excuse me, and an easy finish.
So that time Larson going in between the blockers for the kill, and after 1 game in the books, it's St. Francis 1 and Mitty 0.
Ever since we moved to the United States, Palo Alto Medical Foundation has been taking care of our health. We love our doctor. She is always ready to listen to us and is very professional and answers all our questions and is very reassuring. PAMF has been there not just for my own family, but for the whole community, whether they're seeing patients or providing doctors for our free medical clinic.
Welcome back to Rascott Memorial Gymnasium here on the campus of St. Francis High School here in Mountain View. St. Francis fans smiling, and with good reason. An easy victory for the Lancers in game number 1, 25-13 over Archbishop Mitty. And Mitty will look to get off to a slightly quicker start, I think, in this second game, Ari. Though to be fair, the Lancers were on point from the very beginning.
Yeah, Mitty, just a couple mistakes that really set them back there in game number 1. They're going to have to play a clean game if they want to get back into this contest. Because in Francis, they can get a kill from a lot of different places on the court. They have a lot of different guys who can make their presence known. And so for Mitty, you have to play a clean game. You got to get your serves over, which they did actually a pretty good job of, both teams, after a couple wayward serves in the beginning. Got back on track. So more of that from Mitty, and maybe they'll have a chance here in game number 2.
They also have to find an answer for how organized and efficient the Lancers were defensively in that first game as well. So, and ready then, just a slight delay before we start the second game of this match between these two eternal rivals, West Catholic Athletic League. As we mentioned, these two teams met back on the 11th of March at Archbishop Mitty, a 3-0 victory for the Lancers. And it's Avery Aylesworth Jr. to get things underway here in game number 2. Mitty in the black uniform, St. Francis in the white. And that ball caroms off the hands of Evan Saito out of bounds for a Lancer point.
Yeah, Saito very aggressive there, trying to get it over on 2. He saw an opening near Deneen, but never really materialized, and that ball just sailed out of bounds.
Aylesworth is such a powerful serve that comes off the top of the tape. St. Francis to the outside is turned away as Stephen Deneen rose to meet that one for the Lancers.
Yeah, and Aguilar, I think, was a little upset there. He thought either him or Brazelton should have maybe got to that ball in bounds, but as you can see, just off the right hand of Aguilar and out of bounds. Sometimes the caroms just don't go your way in this game.
Aylesworth then his 3rd serve for the second game. Now the high arcing toss, that's just a little too strong. Almost takes out our camera person over there on the far side of the court, and Mitty are on serve.
Yeah, that was certainly an aggressive serve there from Aylesworth, and why not? You've had a couple nice serves already, trying to get an ace in there as well.
Joust at the net, and that falls in the favor of the Lancers as Reitmeyer and Aylesworth duel at the net and get another Lancer point.
Yeah, nice job by Aylesworth staying with that play. It was a little bit over the net perhaps, tipped it back to Reitmeyer. A little bit of an awkward kill there, but got the job done, and that's all that's necessary to give St. Francis the point.
And I think that's what the Coach UN is discussing with the up official right now, is that it looked like Reitmeyer might have reached over the tape, put that one away.
Yeah, I think he's got a pretty good argument there. From our angle, it did look like he reached over just a little bit, but nice heads-up play there from Aylesworth to get the job done. And as of right now, gives St. Francis the point, though. They are discussing it.
I think actually maybe even Aylesworth might have reached over the tape as well. As the discussion continues here between Evan Saito and the up official. Now the other official is going to come across. We've already seen 1 point overturned in this match so far. That was back in game number 1. Didn't really affect the outcome of the game, but let's have a look at it one more time here. No, Aylesworth was on the right side of the tape.
Yeah, no, that looks like the correct call. I think both him and Reitmeyer were on the correct side. So the refs did get it right, and it looks like it will not be overturned. So the correct call after a lengthy discussion. Good job by the referees getting the call correct. That's all that matters at the end of the day.
So it's the sophomore Noah Stapes, 6'4" sophomore outside hitter to serve. Mitty side. And that's a nice finish from Ian Aguilar, and he is probably one of the better players on the court for the Monarchs here tonight.
Most definitely, and he's been showing a little bit of emotion here in game number 2. A nice hit, nice wind up there to get it over the outreach block from St. Francis.
No chance for Brian McFadden there to dig that one out for the Lancers. It's going to be a free ball. If they can get it over, they can. Faden is underneath that one. Aylesworth sets to go backside, and that will be in for a point as Matthew Larson finishes that one in style.
Yeah, Mitty able to handle the first tip shot attempt from St. Francis. They've actually done a nice job sending those away, but the powerful right hand of Larson too much. As you can see there, it looked like it might have been Saito. He went down a little bit early expecting that ball to be down, but over his head as Larson able to get that ball into the upper left corner.
Carried off the back of the player's hands to dropping in for the point. So 4-2, the Lancers in the lead here in the second game of the match. So Cervantes, the junior libero for the Lancers to serve. Mitty dig themselves into a hole here on the initial contact. Over and 3, back to the Lancers side. Now can Mitty get something going here? Aguilar rises high and gets the point as that comes off the hands of Peter Hewitt.
Yeah, sometimes your best attacker is in the back row. Why not get a back set for him going? And Aguilar doing a nice job finding a seam there in between the St. Francis block.
You'd like to see Aguilar put the team on his shoulders here, the 6'3" senior. Some leadership here for the Monarchs. They're keeping it close here in the second game. Just trailing by a point. And now Ian Wilson, the 5'11" sophomore, will serve for the first time. Aylesworth sets, rejected the net, back over in 1, and that's going to be a point to Mitty. Nice work by the 5'11" middle blocker, Ella Juco there at the net.
Yeah, some substitutions into the game for St. Francis. You saw Peter Hewitt there on the front line, and maybe they need a little time to get adjusted into this ball game.
Oh, great set by Aylesworth, met at the net, and a point given to St. Francis.
Yeah, just a bit wide on that block attempt. Because that one was close to going in, but Deneen saw that all the way. Made the call before the ref even did. Give him a little heads up what the correct call should be.
Deneen with a left-handed serve. Wilson will send it across. Aylesworth sets behind the 10-foot line, and finishing the point was Noah Stapes.
Yeah, Stapes has done a nice job since he's come into the ballgame, this time from the back row, getting the set from Aylesworth, who is just racking up those assists. I don't know how many he has so far, but it seems like every point that St. Francis gets, Aylesworth has his hand in there.
This cross-court shot. Lancey send it over in 3. Saito sets. They go to that backside again with Baumel. Push it over in 3. That's a tremendous dig out. But Mitty unfortunately can't get it over in time. And that wasted a tremendous dig out here by Mitty on the near side of St. Francis Point.
Yeah, you hate to waste that kind of effort. And Larson has tried that tip shot a couple times. This is the first time it's worked that Mitty wasn't quite prepared enough to handle.
Deneen sends it across. Palmed over. Aylesworth sets. Deneen, too strong. And a point to Mitty.
Has been a fairly clean game number 2 for the most part. So for Mitty, that's what they need to continue to do to be into this ball game. The passing, I think, for the most part, has been pretty good for Mitty, and now only down by 2 points.
Yeah, it's definitely improved in the second game. And then as we say that, Peter Hewitt, the 6'9" sophomore, puts that away.
Yeah, not much you can do. Hewitt, who also plays basketball for the Lancers squad, I mean, he just gets so high above the net. Not much Mitty can do to handle that kill attempt.
8-5. The Lancers here in game 2. It's lost in the serve. Saito has come back behind the 10-foot line to deal with that one. Off Cervantes' fist. Over in 3. Saito sets outside. Cervantes palms that one away, and they punching the ball around there well outside the court. St. Francis give away another point to Mitty.
Yeah, you like the hustle there from Larson and Cervantes, really getting after that ball, but Larson just off his hand, I think a little bit awkwardly. He was trying to put that ball back towards the net. Instead, went off the side of his hand and out of the reach of Cervantes.
Mitty would like the chances if they can stay within 2 or 3 points in this game. Free ball. Saito sets. Up goes Aguilar, and he's turned away at the net by Hewitt. And that man is a force.
He certainly
in the middle of the front court.
And it was a little amusing seeing Ellsworth, who's much shorter, and Hewitt both go up for that ball. Ellsworth trying to get up to Hewitt's height, couldn't quite get there. It didn't matter. Hewitt was getting that block all the way.
Yeah, he read that perfectly. And this adds certainly another dimension to the St. Francis team with a 6'9" middle blocker there in the front row. That's a nice finish from Aguilar again. Very sharp finish there, and Mitty again keeping it close.
Yeah, and
back on serve.
Aguilar having to reach kind of behind his body a little bit. Not the cleanest of passes, but he got it to go just around Hewitt, and I think that's the best way to deal with a 6'9" middle blocker. You can't try and go over the top of him. Try to go around him in some fashion.
Alajuco to serve. 7 serving 9 here in the second game. A little pause here. I think they're making sure the score is correct. The down official has gone over the scorer's table here. So a short delay here while the officials sort out the scoring issues. Thanks to the Palo Alto Medical Foundation for their continued support of KMVT's high school sports coverage. My name's Stephen Davies alongside Ari K. Still some discussion going on here at the scorer's table. I think we might finally be ready to
I think they're calling timeout.
Timeout is being called.
It's interesting, they're going over the scorecard. I don't know if it's a substitution question or a scoring question. It's kind of hard to see from our vantage point, but talking with the official scorer, I know about some error perhaps on the scorecard right now. Could be the score of the game.
Yeah. Yeah. 9-7, St. Francis lead here in game 2, we think. We'll find out in just a minute as the scorers go over the official score of the game.
Since 1982, KMVT15 has been providing media resources to the community. Yearly, we train over 300 youth through our video camps. We offer classes in all areas of media, from video to editing, photography, graphics, and much more. KMVT15 is your community resource, connecting communities through media.
We are back at Rascott Memorial Gymnasium here on the campus of St. Francis in Mountain View. The Monarchs and the Lancers in a tight game 2 here. And we are ready to resume the action. The score is correct. It's St. Francis 9, Archbishop Mitty 7. It's Alajuco to serve. Mitty keeping it close here in game 2. Palmed over and a point given to Mitty.
And St. Francis looks befuddled
as
to what they did wrong. All the players looking towards the sideline and getting an explanation from the down ref. But yeah, Staves in particular looking in disbelief at the bench.
Coach Mike Rubin has got maybe the most disbelieving look of anyone out here right now. He's still not really sure why the point was given in favor of Mitty. And now we're going to have another break here.
No point. You try the point.
So I think they're retrying the point.
Yeah,
although the scoreboard still says 9-8, but it should be 9-7 again, and there it goes. So it is 9-7, St. Francis on top.
Gonna replay that point. And that's a real shame. A side out then, and the Lance is back on serve as JUCO's serve goes just out of bounds. Now Avery Aylesworth, the junior, will be back on serve. 4 players behind the 10-foot line then for Mitty. Sends one across and it drops in for a point. And Aguilar again finishing the point for the Monarchs.
That time looked like Aguilar took a little bit off his kill attempt, sort of a change up to his usual fastball, and able to get it just above Reitmeyer's block attempt. There were actually 3 Lancers there to try and block that kill, but somehow able to get it down for the point.
Saito sets. And that's a little too strong from Baumel. Try to finish that one cross court. Every time the Monarchs have had a break, really, in both games now, they just haven't been able to get any sense of a head of steam up, if you like. Had a couple serves, and then they turn it right back over. Stapes to serve. Saito's underneath that one at the net. Aguilar, tremendous dig out by Cervantes. Aylesworth off the ceiling. They send it across in 3. Cervantes to Aylesworth. Good rally here by both teams. And Mitty will get the point, and a well-deserved one at that as Baumel finishes off. Now wait a minute, they're going to give the point to the Lancers here.
Interesting. Do they think that ball went around the antenna? Okay, now they're giving it correctly to Mitty, and yes, because that ball was clearly in all the way. And a good job by Mitty staying with that ball. That ball hit the ceiling. It looked like they might be out of that point, but able to rally back.
There's a finish from Deneen. The best part of that previous rally, I think, was that Mitty were able to deal with the kill attempts by both Deneen and from Lawson on that previous point. But Deneen not to be denied that time. And now Cervantes is on serve for the Lancers, leading this game 12-9. Junior libero. Saito is there. Oh, blocked in the net. Tremendous play by Hewitt and by Lawson. Perfectly timed. And the Lancers remain on serve.
Yeah, it looked a little bit unfair there. You can just see the height coming into advantage. Larson and Hewitt, just such physical presence around the net that it's hard to get it up or around them.
And now with the addition of Hewitt to that front row, it's a menacing front row indeed. But a side out from the Lancers puts Mitty back on serve. And they're still hanging around in this game, 13-10, the Lancers lead.
Yeah, but as you mentioned before, they need a little bit of a push here and needed a little bit of a run. They haven't been able to do this here in game number 2, but sticking around, trying to make a game out of this.
Aylesworth sets backside. Deneen off the top of the tape, well dug out. Saito with a bump set. Back to Aguilar. Aylesworth knocks that one up off the ceiling. Cervantes is underneath it. Deneen. Back to the Mitty side. Saito. Aguilar. Another long rally here. And it's going to be roofing, I think, on Cervantes. Yes, it is. So Mitty catch a break, but again, impressive rallying from the Monarchs. They're back on serve again.
Yeah, it looked like the correct call there on the replay. Cervantes let that ball go into his hands for a little bit too long, though. It was a nice set if the refs had let that one go.
Tough couple digs out. Can they get it over the net? They can't. That's unlucky. That's always going to be tough, though, for Baumel with his back to the net, trying to bump it over. And the Lancers back on serve.
And we have to give credit to the Lancers. I mean, every time Mitty gets a point, it looks like they are striving right back, and their hits are just so strong, it's hard for Mitty to adjust to them.
There's some confusion there from Mitty as that comes off the hand of Graven out of bounds. And a timeout is called by Coach Yuen for the Monarchs. 15-11. The Lancers lead here in game number 2. There's a shot of assistant AD here at St. Francis, Barry Ivers, joining the action here. His Lancers a game to the good already here, battling with the Monarchs in game number 2. Off the net and swung at over to the Mitty side. Saito sets outside. blocked at the net by Hewitt, and that falls in for a Mitty point. Mitty showing some heart here in this second game.
Yeah, nice job by Stapes, first of all, for St. Francis with that one-handed swing, but then on the other end, Graven with the kill, and Mitty, again, just hanging around. We'll see what they can do.
Wilson serve. Saito sets. Up goes Graven, turned away at the net, but it will fall in for Monarchs points.
Yeah, again, at the net, that time, just off the hand of Hewitt. Hewitt timed that one pretty well, but just didn't fall inbounds.
Oh, Aylesworth with the dump, and that caught the Monarchs front row completely off guard. Tipped that over the left hand, nicely done.
Again, Mitty has actually done a good job preventing those dumps. Aylesworth has tried that a couple times before, along with some of his other teammates. That time, though, it was like the parting of the Red Sea. There was nobody in the middle there for Mitty to try and get that ball.
All three of the front row players up at the net. Larson serve. Saito's there. Graven. It's a point to the Lancers.
Yeah, Aiden Dillon into the game for St. Francis, getting the block at the net, it looked like that time. As you can see, ball swung around, and there was Dillon on the right side, getting his hand on the ball.
Short serve, that really caught the Monarchs off guard, and despite the best efforts of Baumel, it's another Lancer point.
Yeah, Larson has been trying his soft serve out a lot more in this game, it seems like, and that time just precision serving right into the short left-hand corner.
Saito sets backside, and that drops in for a Mitty point. Nicely done by Juco, finding his range on the outside.
Yeah, Juco at 5'11" seems a little bit short in this contest with all these 6'4" trees out there, but standing his ground that time, getting the kill at the net.
Yeah, Mitty certainly at his size disadvantage. The tallest player in the game, just 6'3". Rising high there was Lawson. Send this one over in 3. Cervantes is underneath that one. Scrambling forward for the set is Takahashi. Cross court, kept in bounds by Aguilar. He'll try and finish the point here. Cervantes behind the 10-foot line, extended across, blocked at the net, kept alive by Mitty. Aguilar from the far side. Oh, tremendous takeout by Cervantes to send across in 3. Aguilar at the net. Takahashi comes forward. That's outside the antenna. What a shame for the Lancers. Some tremendous play on that point.
Yeah, nothing to hang their heads about on that one. I mean, great effort, and great effort by Aguilar to keep trying these kill attempts, but I mean, Cervantes has to be the hero of that point. Oh my God, what a dig out that was.
Lawson was right there as well to make a tremendous play. St. Francis lead by 3. That's a tremendous winner from Stapes. It's cross court for the kill. No one home for Mitty.
And the St. Francis depth just coming into play time and time again. All these guys coming off the bench. Stapes, Hewitt, Dillon making a big-time impact on this contest. Cervantes as well, who we just saw.
Aiden Olanda then, the 5'10 junior outside hitter to serve for St. Francis. Saito is there. Palmed across by Juco, and it drops in for Mitty point. Some urgency being shown by the Monarchs here. Juco is quick to serve here. And he wants to get the action going quickly now. They're only down by 3, so Mitty's still hanging on here in this game number 2. Juco serve. Dug out by Stapes. It's come back to Stapes, rejected the net. Back over to Cervantes. Second attempt for Stapes, and he sends that wide. A nice combination play by Saito and by Aguilar at the net.
Definitely in that first block, you could see it changed Stapes' approach. At that time, he tried to go cross court because he wasn't getting over the Mitty block, and that changed allowed Mitty to get within 2 here.
Lawson's underneath that one. Go backside. It's going to come back off the roof. Juco was underneath that one. It's going to drop over to the Lancer side of the net. Stapes, too strong. Mitty closed the gap to just 1 point here. Timeout is called. 19-18. The Lancers just barely in front in this second game. Fans of all ages enjoying the second game between the Lancers and the Monarchs, and it's a close one. The Monarchs on serve here. I don't think they've led in this second game.
No, they haven't.
What a time it would be now for the Monarchs to take their first lead in the game in the latter stages of the second game of the match. JUCO to serve. It's tied up at 19 apiece. Can the Monarchs take the lead for the first time? JUCO to serve. One floats across. Oh, it almost caught Larson off guard. A free ball to the Mitty side. Saito sets. Aguilar sends that one across. Dug out by Saito. They go cross court. Free ball into the Lancers. Takahashi sets. Backside. Oh, what a finish by Dylan.
And that point started out as a disaster for the Lancers. Looked like Larson couldn't tell if that ball was going out or in on the serve. Somehow able to just keep that ball alive, and then Dylan finishing it off after that long rally. And Mitty still can't get over the hump, still haven't led in this ball game.
Yeah, Larson looked a little, got the deer in the headlights look there as the serve came towards him. Just able to get a fist out to keep the ball in play. And now another timeout is called here. And you're right, Mitty are getting so close, but they just need that final push. Certainly only 9 points remain, so we get to the 25 threshold. Remember, the teams have to win by 2. So Mitty would like to keep this close as long as possible here.
Yeah, and as an underdog, sometimes it's just a lot of psychological advantage when you get a lead and then you can see, yes, we have a chance in this ball game. Just haven't been able to do that quite yet. Still have 5 points to be able to come back, but I think for St. Francis, you know, they got a little bit discombobulated there for a while as Mitty went on that quick 3-0 run, a lot of mistakes, so we haven't seen a lot from the Lancers, so we'll see how they respond after this timeout.
This is a much better performance from Mitty. Remember, they lost that first game of the match, 25-13. They're within 1 here, and it's Aylesworth to serve for the Lancers. High arcing serve. Aguilar is underneath that one. Back to Aguilar off the Saito serve. Aylesworth to Cervantes. Now to Deneen. Did he get it inbounds? He did. That was very close indeed to catching the line. The Lancers' critical juncture of this game remain on serve. We've seen Aylesworth with a powerful serve. That was more of the arcing, looping serve. Let's see which one it is this time. It goes back to the, oh, and it catches him off guard. The knuckleball there, over it comes. And JUCO can't keep it alive.
Yeah, you might think that would be easier to handle as it's just a high arcing serve, but because Aylesworth's serve is usually so hard, it's hard to adjust, I think, for these Mitty players.
JUCO, Saito, Aguilar. Nice dig out there by Aylesworth. Back to the Mitty side. Aguilar. Aylesworth digs that one out for Cervantes on the set. And double hit on, I guess, on Cervantes.
Yeah, that would be my guess as well. And Mitty catches another break. Now 22-20 and stops the St. Francis run momentarily.
He was trying to set that one up for Larson. Now Mitty back on serve. It's Saito. Cervantes is underneath that one. Aylesworth. Oh, well turned away by Aguilar at the net. Rejects Larson.
And it seems like the Mitty player is now keying in on Larson. We've seen a couple of his kill attempts now blocked at the net. And boy, yeah, Balmo and Aguilar right there to send that ball away.
St. Francis have only dropped 4 games all year. Will this be the 5th one? Aylesworth. Need off the tape, off the ceiling. Blocked at the net, and the point goes to Mitty. Actually, no, they've corrected the point.
Yeah.
Noah Savage, excuse me, was a player to hit that into the tape. Sorry, Avi.
Yeah, no, it looked like the ball never crossed. And so I think the correct call by the refs getting it right.
It might be a real, I was just about to say that. It might have been a real backbreak as Stapes sends his serve into the net. So quick side out, puts Mitty back on serve. And this is probably the guy you want to be serving for you. It's Ian Aguilar sending it across. Cervantes is underneath that one. Aylesworth sends it backside for Deneen. Tip back over in 1. And that one's going to drop in as Larson puts that away for the Lancers, and now it's game point for the first time in this second game. They're going to substitute in Peter Hewitt here to the middle blocker position, so an imposing front court for the Lancers on this point, and it's Cervantes to serve. Saito. To Graven. Aylesworth sets it up for Lawson. And Lawson's powerful kill finishes off the Monarchs here in game number 2. St. Francis just one game away from taking this match as Lawson finishes off the Monarchs.
Yeah, Aguilar just couldn't quite get to that. And boy, what a backbreaker for Mitty in this entire game number 2. Just could not get over the hump.
They came within, well, they were actually tied up at one point. It was 19-all. But the Lancers just had that little extra in the tank. They are now up 2-0 here in this game against Archbishop Mitty.
KMVT15 provides an array of professional media services for businesses. Our video services include ribbon cuttings, grand openings, promotional, training, corporate culture, testimonial, and much more. By hiring our professional staff, you are helping to support our mission to provide resources and educational opportunities to the community. Give us a call today.
Welcome back to the home of St. Francis, Raskoff Memorial Gymnasium. Getting ready to start game number 3 with St. Francis up ahead 2-0 over the Monarchs of Mitty. REK here alongside Stephen Davies, as Mitty will be the first to serve, as Evan Saito will get things started. For Mitty, serves it across to Jimenez. Deneen from the back row with the kill attempt, not quite there. So Saito setting up Aguilar at the net, and looked like a St. Francis player, maybe Jimenez, did touch the net there on that block attempt to give Mitty an early 1-0 lead.
Yeah, he did indeed. And well, a tough defeat in that second game for Mitty, because they really hung in there well until the latter stages of the game. Just didn't have enough at the end. Good way to start this third game to lead for the first time.
Aylesworth with an interesting dump attempt, but there's Jimenez with the kill to finish it off and tie this game back up at 1.
Jimenez is a little quiet in that second game, but it shows you a lot of the depth that St. Francis have. We've seen quite a few guys here tonight making an impact. A young team for St. Francis too, 8 juniors and 3 sophomores. So they'll be a strong team in the next couple years in the West Catholic Athletic League.
Talk about a hard serve there from Aylesworth. Rattled around the roof and then went down softly, so Aylesworth will get the ace. His second serve coming up. St. Francis now 1 point advantage, 2-1.
Sure, Mitty know what to expect whenever Aylesworth is serving. There, all 6 players got a 10-foot line that time.
And that ball goes over on 1, and Jimenez was right there for the kill. Again, Aylesworth serve causing problems for Mitty.
They've had problems dealing with it pretty much all match long, and that time Jimenez able to come forward. And easy pickings for him.
So we'll see if Aylesworth will stick with his hard serve. We've seen him go to more of a lollipop serve before. Again with the tough serve, and no chance for Graven to handle that one off his hands and into the second deck out of bounds.
Our poor old camera people tonight are really having to pay attention
taking
here.
a beating.
Yeah.
So we have our camera people, hopefully with some more protection in the future, as Aylesworth, again a tough serve, but that one a little long and out of bounds as Aylesworth tried to get his 3rd ace in a row there.
But you saw 3 different setups for Mitty on each of his serves. Just not really sure where it's going at any particular time.
Aguilar with the serve. Jimenez now just a tip shot over the outreach block and give another point to St. Francis, an early 5-2 lead.
How about that deft touch from Jimenez? Yeah. Took a little deflection as well off of Baumel, but easy finish.
A nice job by Aylesworth setting it over his head for Jimenez, as Jimenez serving it across. And a little bit long that time from Aguilar.
Yeah, he really was winding up that time. Good 6 to 8 feet out of bounds. Just took out one of the local camera crews here over on the east side. Lots of cameras here tonight.
A lot of interest in this game as Jimenez serve just goes over the net, hit the top of the net, went over, so he's going to get an ace after all of that.
I think the deflections are certainly going in favor of the Lancers here tonight. That one off the top of the tape. Caught the Mitty players just a little bit by surprise. And as you mentioned, falls in for the ace.
Yeah, Mitty definitely needed some of these breaks to go their way if they had any chance of beating the Lancers on their home court. Has a nice block at the net. There was Stapes and Diamond, who didn't play much in that second game. Here in game number 3, back in and getting into the action.
Yeah, when things are going your way, they usually stay that way, and that time it was Diamond. Looked like maybe come off his forearms, perhaps. Falls in for points.
So Jimenez, another serve, goes across. And that time, nice hit there by Baumel, as there was only one blocker to challenge for St. Francis.
Tremendous set there and an excellent finish by the 6'2 junior. Need a second invitation to put that way. Tremendous backward serve.
So Milosavljevic up and over, and Jimenez just wide to the right on his kill attempt. So a couple points in a row for Mitty. They get back within 4. It's 8-4 now.
Yeah, they were down 8-2 early on in this third game. Now you'd like to see him get some serves together here and close this gap.
Now a miscue from Stapes, as that wasn't a tough serve to handle. It just went off his fingertips, went backwards, and harmlessly fell for a Mitty point.
A red defensive mistake from the Lancers that time, from Stapes.
So Milosavljevic with an ace on that one, as Diamond trying the quick hit. That wasn't quite there. From the back line, Aguilar just a bit long, and Cervantes did a nice job of letting that ball go out of bounds.
Mitty would really have liked to continue that run of points, but fortunately Aguilar for the second time in this game sends it too long, and now the Lancers back on serve.
So it'll be Olander checking back into the game for St. Francis. He winds up, serves it across, handled by Aguilar. That ball goes over, and then Stapes, another miscue from him. He tried to hit it over on one. He's saying, my bad, to his teammates there. That ball didn't quite make it over the net.
Another good back serve. Tough play, but usually you would have put that one away.
So Baumel to Stapes. Stapes handles it this time. Now Deneen trying the kill attempt, not quite there. Aguilar from the back row, that wasn't there, is now set up for Stapes. That one's blocked at the net for Mitty. Aguilar another chance, but a nice dig out from Aylesworth. Now Deneen, Saito digs that one out. And that ball will not make it across. It'll be a point for St. Francis after the long rally.
Stapes is right there as to send the ball back to the Mitty side and dueling at the net. They had to let that one go in the end. It would be very difficult indeed for Mitty to make a play.
So Deneen getting a serve. His team up 4 here in game number 3. That ball is a little bit long though. So Mitty, again, perhaps gonna be staying around in this game number 3. They've cut the deficit back to 3, which was kind of the point they were at for most of game number 2.
They were indeed. After trailing by as many as 6 points early on in this third game, they have closed the gap.
So Graven serves it across, and looks like maybe hit the net for St. Francis. We'll see what the call is.
Did indeed.
Yeah, so another miscue for St. Francis. A little bit sloppy here in game number 3, and now it's 10-8. So Graven, a second serve. Serves it to Jimenez. Gonna set this one up, but Stapes just has to hit it over, and another lucky break as that ball hit the top of the net and just fell harmlessly across. So Stapes getting a little bit lucky on that one.
Certainly a look of disbelief on the face of Stapes, but yeah, I mean, get a little bounce off the tape. No one home for Mitty. Stapes, a couple of miscues, a couple of lucky breaks in this third game as well, and sends the serve into the tape.
Yeah, well, that's a case of the ball don't lie, I think. One goes over, one doesn't, hits the top of the net, and does not go over for Stapes that time. Still a 2-point game, 11-9. Mitty serving. Handled by Stapes. Sends it across to Jimenez. Big kill attempt, and that one finds its way home just over the head of Juco.
Juco a little out of position there with his feet, try to get his hands up to stop that ferocious kill from Jimenez.
So the libero, Kenny Cervantes, back to serve for St. Francis. Teams trading points, again, much like they did in game number 2. Here comes Juco, tipped at the net. St. Francis on the attack. Jimenez, big kill attempt, and that block attempt by Aguilar goes out of bounds for a St. Francis point.
Unlucky for Aguilar because he really read that point well. So we see him rise high here, and it came off his, it's like the forearm of his right arm there, out of bounds for a Lancer point.
So Cervantes to the back row, handled by Juco. And then at the net, looked like Diamond and Dillon combining for that block.
Yeah, the two 6'4" players there for the Lancers. Rising in tandem to turn back that Monarch effort.
Yeah, good teamwork there. Maybe hit more of Dillon than Diamond, but still, both were there to get that block attempt. As Aguilar in the middle, big time kill try. Stapes hits it over on one. And there's Aguilar again, and they're going to say that ball is down. As Aguilar, maybe a little bit of his frustration being shown and taken out on the ball there.
Aguilar got a lot of elevation that time. Yeah, he was annoyed about something, wanted to finish that one off. Threading the needle along the far side of the court there. But it still keeps Mitty in the game, as now both teams reach double digits.
Saito, nice serve, dug out though by Jimenez. Diamond at the net, that one set away. There was Tommy Baumel getting the point and putting Mitty back within 3.
And he didn't need a second invitation that time. A little miscommunication there on the set. And I think Diamond just in two minds there about what to do.
Saves another miss hit, but this time Cervantes bails him out with the set. Hits the roof, unlucky break for Mitty there, and just has to hit it over. So a free ball for St. Francis, but a miss hit from them. Dillon just hits it over. And that ball is going to be ruled out as the left hand Milosavljevic tried to sneak that ball in with his left hand on the left side of the court, but a little bit too wide.
15-11 now. And the Lancers, they've had the luxury of having that cushion for most of this match. Just 10 points away now from the victory here. And a man you want serving right here, Avery Aylesworth.
Yeah, Aylesworth back to serve, but a little bit too long, as maybe a little rusty coming back into the game there. Just off to the left side and a bit long.
I think Mitty might want to just let him hammer it away and see where it lands.
It's either an ace or out of bounds,
yeah,
it seems
exactly.
like. Now in the middle,
brilliant.
there is Diamond. Wow, nice hit there, going to the back right corner.
Textbook volleyball play here from St. Francis. Look at this. Boy, no chance.
You can see him position his hand to get to that right corner that opened up on the Mitty side as Jimenez serves it across. Stapes digs it out, and now Diamond trying to serve to that back row again. Not quite there. Milosavljevic not there, and Diamond in the middle again. Denied by Mitty. Now Milosavljevic again. Now they're going to set up Deneen for St. Francis, and he tips it over the outreached hand of Milosavljevic.
Great awareness of where he was on the court that time, too, as he was up near the antennas. He goes to poke this one over. Tremendous backward set by Aylesworth. And the most delicate of touches gives the Lancers another point.
So 16-13, and we're going to get a violation. Out of rotation is the call, so Mitty, little run here, it's now 16-14.
Yeah, they'll take those miscues from the Lancers anytime they can get them, and there have been quite a few of them in this third game. Lance is so disciplined through those first two games. Maybe with the finishing line in sight here, they've just begun to switch off just that little bit.
Yeah, Mike Rubin getting his guys in the proper set now. There's no violation on this point. Deneen trying to kill. That one goes off the basketball hoop. Finds its way to the Monarchs, but a nice block at the net by Deneen and Diamond there for the Lancer point.
Yeah, they've been a fine tandem in the front court for the Lancers all evening, and combining to turn that point back.
So Aiden Olander back to serve now. His team up 17-14. Dug out and tipped over by Juco. Nice try there, but St. Francis was ready, and then I don't know quite what Wyatt Johnson was doing. He was expecting, I guess, some type of other set, but that ball was to him. He jumped high in the air and That ball landed kind of at his feet.
That's what happens when you have a lot of these substitutions here. I think Johnson out in the court from one of his first times this evening and wasn't expecting the Aylesworth. Oh, that's a tremendous dig out by Aylesworth.
And then a great block by Deneen, so Aylesworth and Deneen getting it done on that point. As defense saving the day that time for the St. Francis.
Serve from, set from Saito. Yeah, look at that. So well timed by Deneen. And Graven had a real good look at that too, but Deneen not to be denied. And he'll take a seat, as will Aylesworth.
Kind of a jump serve that time by Nicholas Takahashi into the game. And Mitty will get the point as Graven gets it to go.
Still hanging in this third game, still down by 2. Seems like the Lancers should be a lot further ahead, but Mitty is just getting the points when they can.
Yeah, you have to give Mitty some credit here. Staying in all these ball games where it looks like the Lancers might just storm ahead, and that time it was Aiden Dillon getting into the kill column.
Dillon, one of 3 sophomores on this Lancer team. It's a good finish there.
So we're going to get a timeout from Mitty. They want to talk this over, 6 points away from a defeat. KMVT Sports would like to thank our all sports presenting sponsor, the Palo Alto Medical Foundation, part of the Sutter Health Network. Make sure you choose your PAMP doctor today. So 19-16 the score here, St. Francis on top. And for Mitty, again, they've stuck with the Lancers. Lancers have played pretty darn well besides a couple of clerical miscues, I would say, in this ballgame.
Yeah, I think so. Certainly the height advantage, being able to rotate so many players in the game and have them make an impact, I think, has been the difference. But for a Mitty team that's just 2-5 overall in league play, I think this is definitely something to build on, and I think they'd like to. I think they'd like to take a game away from this match, even though the opportunities are running out. St. Francis just 6 points away from the victory.
So Stapes back into the ball game. He serves it across. Here's Aguilar, who's played pretty much the entire game for Mitty. Going to give it to Aguilar again, and mistimed his jump. Miscommunication there between him and Saito, and so the point will go to St. Francis.
Yeah, you could just see when he was rising up there, left off the left leg, and just mistimed that a little bit.
Stapes will get his second serve now, as a little bit of a discussion here. Again, I'm not sure about what, looking at the scorecard again.
It's a shame for Mitty because that second game, I think, was their real opportunity to get back into this one. Now trailing by 4 points, and the Lancers only needing 5 more. It's going to be a big ask for them here to turn the tide here and take the third game.
Certainly is, though we can't say they've been trailing this entire game. They did have the early 1-0
right.
lead. So they've tasted an advantage just for a short period of time in this ball game. But it has been pretty much all St. Francis, even though the games have been close.
So look, Coach Mike Rubin for the Lancers.
So Stapes serves it across after the delay. Aguilar.
Double hit on Mitty.
So Mitty hasn't had too many of those type of miscues, but that one's a costly one as they're now down 5 with only 4 points potentially remaining in the match.
And unfortunately for Mitty, those miscues coming late on in this third game of the match.
Aguilar with the kill, and that one lands at the feet of Takahashi. So Aguilar continues to add to his kill total, gets the Monarchs within 4 again.
Aguilar, certainly one of the best players Mitty has on the court here tonight. He's had a fine game.
Stapes again, a little bit of a mishit with his set, but handled by St. Francis. Saito just has to hit that one over. A couple of diving saves from St. Francis, able to get it across, and now Aguilar, big hit.
Oh.
Ooh. Right to the head of Stapes.
Wow, that looked like it hit him right in the temple or in the eye, but let's see. Aguilar with intent. Oh, wow.
Ooh.
Yeah, that hurts.
And you can see it was blocked momentarily by Jimenez. Didn't really see the ball was coming, and right at his eye there. But Stapes seems to be okay, still in the ball game. So give him credit for that. And then,
that's tough.
Yeah, bad break for Mitty. Hits the ceiling, miscommunication. The ball falls down, and St. Francis gets the point.
hits the railing and then the basketball hoop, and the Mitty player is just completely out of sorts there as they try to track the ball. Yeah, Stapes has had an interesting game here. He's been in the wars, made some mistakes, also made some great points too. You can see, looking at him now, he's definitely feeling the effects of that shot.
Yeah, he'll feel that one tomorrow, that's for sure, as Aguilar at the net, able to get it across as Diamond and Dillon tried to send that one back to no avail.
Mitty keeping it close. Back to within 3. Drawn serve.
So Mitty needs to go on a run right about now, 3 points away from a 3-0 defeat, as Saito jump serve across. Miss hit, and yeah, looked like Takahashi hit the net there. So another miscue for St. Francis, another point for Mitty.
We need just another one of those. Good strong serve. Timeout is called by Coach Rubin. So he just wants to make sure everyone's on the same page here for this final push. This is a very similar situation that we saw in game 2, with Mitty closing it up. We saw some mistakes in the end of that second game, giving St. Francis the victory in that second game. But can Coach Yuen pull his players together here and steal this third game of the match?
Yeah, and you never know what can happen as you continue to go. St. Francis earlier in the season, a game against Mountain View, they got down 2-0 early, then had a very close game number 3 that they were able to pull off, then won game 4, and although they fell in game 5, it was a pretty dramatic comeback in a game that Mountain View had looked like they were handling pretty easily. So Lancers know all about how a comeback can happen, and I'm sure that's what Coach Rubin was talking about in the huddle there. So Saito serves it across, gonna set that one up, and double hit, point to Mitty, and their run continues. They're within 1.
I think that might have been on, let's see, on the, it's either on Dillon or on Takahashi that time. Some mistakes here from St. Francis down the stretch.
And Saito doing a nice job, just getting the ball over, no mishits there. Diamond trying to get it, and then free ball this time for St. Francis. Let's see what they can do with it. Jimenez, big kill attempt, and that block attempt is out of bounds, so St. Francis stops the run, gets a point here.
There was some miscommunication on that previous attempt by Mitty. They had to send it over in 3. St. Francis were able to set up Jimenez, and on the return, he just let that one go out of bounds for the point.
So Mitty's going to call a timeout here. Talk things over once again. It's 23-21, St. Francis on top here in game number 3. Yep. Welcome back to the home of the Lancers, Roscoff Memorial Gymnasium. St. Francis 2-0 advantage, up 23-21 here in game number 3, as they have an enthusiastic fan base trying to cheer them on to victory. Aylesworth, this time with his lollipop type serve, handled by Mitty. At the net, there was Deneen to send that one back as the tip kill attempt by Baumel. No chance of going over.
I waited till the very last second to put out the right hand and tap that one back across. Wow, match point.
And so right guy serving for the match point. Aylesworth trying to have the Lancers sweep the Monarchs as Aguilar to the back row. And
roofing against St. Francis.
Yeah. So another miscue here keeps the Monarchs in the game. Aguilar serves it across. Handled by Cervantes. Aylesworth's going to set up Jimenez. Nice kill. And they're going to call that down, and that will be the ball game.
What a finish there by Jimenez, going cross court to finish the game in some style.
Yeah, wow. Saito didn't really have a chance of that. That's just a perfectly placed ball by Jimenez to give St. Francis the win. So as we were saying before, a valiant effort from Mitty, but in the end, St. Francis just too much height, too much talent really for the Monarchs to handle.
Yeah, I mean, considering Mitty scored just 13 points in that first game, to come back and score 22 in the second and third game is still a pretty good effort. But you're right, Ari, at the end of the day, too much of a height advantage, too much discipline, too much organization, I think, for the Lancers as they move on to 7-0 now, or 8-0, I should say, in league play.
Yeah, so the impressive season continues for St. Francis. We would like to thank our producer-director, Bobby Chastain, our camera people, Sherilyn Meacham, Tim Erskine, Renee Mendoza. And we would also like to thank St. Francis for hosting us. Once again, my name is RK alongside Stephen Davies. Hope you had a good time listening to us. Have a good evening, everyone.